Hey y'all, grown black folks talk back out on the climb on a beautiful autumn morning in San Francisco. And you're going to see this on Friday after I do the videos on Wednesday and Thursday about zero knowledge Christians and how we get caught up on zero knowledge apostles and get caught up on rituals thinking that this is how we serve God. No, that's how we serve ourselves. And if we are zero knowledge Christians, we neither have knowledge nor concern enough about what it is that Christ wants. And I said there that in the Zero Knowledge Apostles video that Jesus gave an invitation in the Gospels, Matthew 11. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. Well, this is kind of what that looks like. I didn't have to ask my pastor for permission to come out on a morning where other people are working and slaving. Well, yeah, there are people in this world and in this country still slaving. That's an absolute thing. Allegedly, David E. Taylor was running himself a little plantation of sorts. There are people being trafficked. There are people being forced into work. There are people who are working who are terrified and who will be handed over to large landowners to be re-enslaved simply for coming across the border. That's actually going to be going on, and it is going on. And they're going to make that a lifetime. That's going to be the way that it's set up, it's going to be a lifetime penalty. So you will be sold to these big landowners for being an illegal immigrant to work for life. That is the restoration of United States slavery is what's on the table right now under the present administration. So yeah, that's going on right now. And their children, because slavery was perpetual in the United States. It passed on to you and your children and your children. So we have a class of people, again, stripped of all rights, forced back into slavery. That's on the table in the United States of America again. Because you have to understand, there were an awful lot of people who didn't want to give it up. There's an awful lot of people who look back into the colonial and slavery periods and think that people of European descent were richer and doing better in the world when that went on. They do not want women like me at all to be able to come out and enjoy their life in the morning. Now, I have things to do. The internet is down at my house, and so I put up a whole lot of stuff the day before because I knew it was coming in my direction of doing updates, and I can't do work from home. So I got to get out early. I got to get back there, take care of some things. I've got to go to the grocery store, pick up some things that my parents need. We're doing our best to keep them out of skilled nursing situations at a time like this because, it would be better for everybody involved if I ain't got to go to a facility and cause people to have to deal with consequences for not doing their jobs. It would be better for everybody involved not to have to go through that. Really, it would. Try not to do that to anybody else, much less my parents don't want that. So I'm having to put in extra work on them. I don't have as much time to put in doing anything. This is probably the first time in a long time I've done 3 videos 3 days in a row. But what I'm doing this morning, before any of the rest starts, is resting. As I was going out and doing my early affairs, I asked the Lord, where would you guide me? And he took me to the eastern side, took me through the park. I got off the bus on the western side. I walked through to the eastern side, had my seat down here ready for me to overlook an absolutely glorious view of the city that I can't show you because the sun is right overhead. And my camera's like, nope, I'm not going to be able to give you this beautiful skyline because the fog is already moving into the south, and that extra mist and whiteness is going to completely white out the view here. So I can't show it to you, but you take the whole southern part of San Francisco plus downtown from this angle. It's a beautiful view. The sun is gorgeous. The beauty of the park is behind me. The hill behind me blocks a lot of the wind, which means I may come up here more often now that I think about it. Because on a lot of windy days, it will not be a concern because the hill will block it. It's on my way. I can go by the grocery store on the way back. So what I'm doing before I start anything else is coming up. I've done my journaling. I'm resting in the presence of the Lord. I prayed. I thanked him for this beautiful day. And I've been able to kind of rest and organize things and even make a little bit of content for my channel. The other thing I'm working on, and we'll be talking about it on Wa Aunties within a couple weeks, 2 weeks, maybe 3, is we're working on a new Discord And there's a new channel, there's a new Discord. I have some administrative responsibilities over there. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. But what I've also taken rest from is a lot of what used to drive this algorithm because it's connected with Themis and Thoth. And the thing was, we were all home during the pandemic and had time to really be concerned about the lives of other people and empower people such as Kevin Samuels to look like he was somebody. Never would have been anybody but for the pandemic. People being at home, unhappy people, especially men, really don't do well when they have loss of control. So even though it wasn't black women but white men who took the world away from everyone for a little while based on trying to protect us, hence called a pandemic, I don't so much have a problem with that though, because I live in a very dense city. I live in the second most dense city. And the mayor here was London Breed, a black woman, who looked at, if we don't shut the city down, we're going to be putting people in refrigerated lockers like in New York because we are the second densest city in the country. I don't so much have a problem with that. I have a problem with people taking out their frustration on black women. You can't get what you want, so we empower people to sit up and abuse black women online. But I realized because of the pandemic, we weren't ready for that. So nobody was really prepared. So we did what comes natural to us in this society, which is to worship men and to empower them and to hate black women. But see, I could not go completely with that program. And you know how that is? Even Themis and Thoth, and if 11, sometimes 24 hours a week, 1 week in May, spent building a channel where no solutions were being offered on a regular basis. There were some very good Themis and Thoth shows. Ain't no man in the world I'm gonna worship to give that much time if problems are not being solved. I blew through there by June 19th, 2022. Ain't nowhere in the world. And started finding my way back to redeem my time. Then I remembered this year that the Bible says, redeem the time for the days of evil. Don't have time to kill with anybody. I don't have to. I can redeem my time because why? Because I can give it a rest. See, once you stop being a zero knowledge Christian, you can give a whole lot of things that aren't helping you in your life a rest permanently. Now, there are wonderful channels. Marissa Price, Stephanie Perry, Rashida Dow really are talking about from outside the Christian viewpoint, but really are talking about how black women give themselves rest. As a Christian, I talk about from specifically a Christian perspective, but it is true that no, black women do not have to be slaving for everybody else to have value. No, we already have value in the way that we were created. You can give it a rest. So what am I doing? What have I been doing on the climb? I have been deciding to give a whole lot of things that are not necessary rest. Now, I am the author of Season the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom. I maybe know a little bit more about investment than somebody else. So that by living a quiet and peaceful life, you have seen me consistently being able to give myself a rest. The work of my grandparents and my parents also has positioned me to be able to give myself a little bit more of a rest, although that investment on their part is now turned around twice because I've helped take care of my grandmother when she was of an age, and now I'm taking care of my parents with my sister because they are of an age. So there's mutual investment, there's mutual turnaround. I thought about this yesterday. It's a different video. One of the reasons that we go along with the foolishness is because we want to get our needs met from someone who will not hold us eternally accountable for what we do with the stewardship. That's the other side of how we create all these zero knowledge apostles. That's a different video than today. Because today, you'll see this on Friday. And Friday is one of the more difficult days that I have in terms of having to get things done. But today, I'm enjoying the rest that Christ gave me. I'm enjoying the rest of being a black woman who has additional skills than just getting up to go to work. And I invite you, and I'm going to put some channels in the description for you. I invite you to understand that no matter what you believe, you have the same option. To learn how to do more than to put your whole value and your whole life into working for someone else. I invite you to do this so that you can enjoy some peace and rest. And sometimes on a weekday morning when it is beautiful, and before you deal with the demands of everyone else, you can give it a rest. Or maybe, if you like the afternoon, do the afternoon. Whatever you're able to work with, but I want to encourage you. It's time for black women to give yourself a rest. And if you belong to Jesus Christ, he already said, come to me, I'll give you rest. Matthew 11:28. All right, y'all have a good day now. This is just kind of my follow up on the week. This is probably the first time in a few years, well, not a few years, but several months that I've done 3 videos, 3 days in a row. It depends on how much morning time I have. I had a lot today. So we'll see. More aunties is coming back. I got to talk to Love about some days. It'll be mornings from here on out, just because of the way my schedule is now. But some Thursday morning near you. We'll see you soon. All right. Y'all have a good day now. Goodbye.